This is Louis, and if you want to support my channel, head on over to JList or head on over to Play Asia. Check out their summer sale, which is still going but will be ending soon as it's starting to head towards the end of the summer. If you don't feel like buying anything, support me on Patreon, which many of you do, and I hope that more people will. All the links can be found in the description.
So this is Louis, and it's been kind of a long day, and despite the fact that I haven't really been yelling or anything, my voice is kind of fucked up, and it's just because I'm tired and I've been working for the last 11 hours. But I wanted to try to see if I can do a commentary on this tweet from WikiLeaks talking about the fact that today the United States Senate passed a toothless bill, which is just like a pronouncement of the Senate, that is rejecting Trump's phrase that the press are the enemy of the people. That is something that he has said routinely, and is something that he has doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down on, despite the fact that it is, in fact, a controversial statement. It is not based off of nothing, which is what you are sold. Every time he says that the press are the enemy of the people, or that they are the opposition party, of which he says that to many of his supporters, it's always seen as, oh, this is just out of the woodwork. This is just out of the blue. There's no cause for him to say this when, for going on, what, 3 years? At minimum 2 years. So maybe even 3 years. The press has attacked Trump every single day. Every single day you will see a New York Times article, you will see a CNN article, you will see an article from The Hill, or any mainstream outlet. You will see an article from every single outlet that is conceivably mainstream or beltway. You will see an article, whether it's just an article, which is supposed to be just straight news, or an editorial, of which straight news at this point is nearly non-existent. It's almost all editorializing at this point, as many people will tell you that are even within the press. They will say that much to you, because it is true at this point. The press is out of fucking control. They editorialize in everything. They have their own biases, and they're not even pretending anymore. Like, there's not even the facade of, oh, we're the objective, my starched shirt and my $3,000 suit, I'm pretending to be objective even though I'm biased in favor of internationalist politics. They don't even pretend anymore. They are just an elite class of globalists, of internationalists. And what they can't stand about Trump is, one, the fact that he's gauche and vulgar, but more so than that is his politics. He is a nationalist. They are internationalists. That is why they don't like him. That is why. It's not just about bourgeois social norms. That's part of it. But another large part of why they hate Trump is his politics. It is the fact that he is a nationalist. Even many members of Fox News, anchors, commentators, pundits, they're also internationalists. That is something that you can see when they attack Trump based on whatever, his policies around immigration, which they do. They attack him based on his tariffs, especially because they don't want the United States in a better position trading-wise. They want us on our back foot or on our back heel. They want us at a disadvantage because that's where their investments are. I don't want to fucking hear anymore about how, oh, capitalism has raised up everyone overseas who we abused as cheap labor at our own direct benefit. Oh, isn't that so good? People are richer than ever before in foreign nations. Well, I'm so glad that I'm electing people to benefit foreigners. Wow, I'm so glad we have a so-called representative government where I'm electing people that are directly benefiting foreign nationals and not myself, a citizen. But I'm just going to leave that alone. The internationalist right exists. They're the establishment, and they're fucking awful. They're fucking awful. They're self-interested. They act in a way that benefit only themselves, and they somehow see the benefit of foreign nationals as something that I, as a citizen, should give a shit about. Fuck the internationalist right. The best thing that can happen to the right in the United States is for the whole of the right, the base of the right, to throw these fuckers out of their party. Throw the establishment internationalist right out of the Republican Party. Fuck them. Stop being afraid of their bullshit argumentation around economics. Economics is not going to save this fucking nation. Germany, Sweden, and all the other nations that were going on and on about, oh, economics, oh, this is going to help our nation, we're going to have all this cheap labor and it's going to benefit our nation. It doesn't work. That doesn't happen. Do not listen to the internationalist right and all their horseshit ideology revolving around economics, immigration, and anything else that they have to talk about. It's all bullshit. Thought up 70 years ago, 60 years ago, by people that thought enabling China was a great idea, which is what we are now facing. You know, anyone that understands international relations understands that the greatest foe the U.S. have, and this is not controversial to anyone who's objective. Anyone who's objective will tell you that the greatest foe the United States has is China. Guess how they got there? We enabled them. People can blame the Democrats all they want. People can do all that all day, and they do have their own culpability in this. The Republicans and their ideology and their think tanks, they're the ones that created this problem. Period. Democrats just went along with them. As much as everyone wants to harp about Hillary Clinton and the neoliberals, guess what? The Republicans, the establishment internationalist right, were the ones that cooked up that ideology and cooked up that policy. Anyways, I know that that's off topic for this, but the thing is though, that this was unanimous. This vote in the Senate was unanimous. There was no one in the Senate that had the balls to say that this is partisan bullshit. On the same day, and I kid you not, on the same fucking day, that you had 300 outlets, according to the Associated Press, 300 press outlets that all ran editorials on the same fucking day denouncing Trump. And for nothing more than his rhetoric. All this is a midterm strategy to get Democrats elected. That is all this is about. And you have Republicans in the Senate going along with them. Full stop. People ask me why I'm not a Republican. Why do you think? I'll stand by as a liberal, of which you can deride me all day, as a center leftist, of which you can deride me all day. I'm not a pussy. Your leadership are. Your movement is a collection of fucking pussies. You get rolled on and you roll over. You just lay down to allow the press to continue to hold the whip over you. And I'm not going along with that shit. You know, all your whole leadership, all your so-called fucking representatives in Congress can do this, can roll over, when this is nothing more than a political, an insincere, coordinated political attack by the press, who in fact hate Trump because of his politics, because he is a nationalist. They will attack him, collude, coordinate, and attack him, and Congress will go right along with him. Fuck that! I'm not abiding. I'm not going along with it. I denounce those that go along with this effort to attack the democratically elected president for nothing more than the fact that he is not an internationalist, that he is not abiding by the professional gatekeepers in our society, which is the so-called fourth estate, which in my opinion, my humble opinion, has greatly outlived its usefulness. It is nothing more than a hostile actor in the country that does nothing but propagate lies and propaganda for its own sake, for its own interests, defending itself from a president that is hostile against it as a class and as an entity. Because they act as one. 300 so-called independent competing entities coordinated to release editorials on the same day. 300! And what happens? The political class locks arms and agrees that Trump's rhetoric is somehow an attack on the free press, when the press, meanwhile, on every fucking platform are attacking anyone who is not them. Anyone. It includes left-wingers. Today, there is a huge purge of left-wing, like, actors, persons and media outlets and just so-called journos, people that are on social media. They attack them as well. You know why? Because they're also part of the problem in the minds of the mainstream media, because anyone that is not them is someone that is opposed to them. That is how they view this, and that is how they're acting. And if I upload this, if I consider this video to be quality enough in terms of just a rant to upload to my channel, my voice is the one that's at risk of being censored. I'm not a professional journo. I'm not someone that is backed by a company that's backed by fucking Halliburton, backed by Lockheed Martin, backed by whatever pharmaceutical, Johnson & Johnson, or whatever else. I'm not there to suck the dick of corporations and abide by internationalist politics, and that's why I stand to be potentially censored. Because if I was a corporate dick sucker, a globalist, or as I say, an internationalist, my voice would be in no way censored. It would be promoted by everyone, including YouTube. My voice would be promoted because that's who YouTube promotes, are internationalists. And you see this with all their horse shit about so-called refugees or migrants. They promote people that promote the idea of having the third world migrate to the Western world, which is the cornerstone of internationalist politics. Because I don't know if you've noticed this in Europe, but Europe is falling apart. And guess what? It's not getting more liberal, it's getting more illiberal. This is the direct result of people clamoring in the media and people clamoring that are the elite in our, different societies. They are all internationalists, and they have the same idea of what is an ideal nation, and that is an illiberal nation where they rule, and there's no such thing as a vote. The EU is the perfect model for what they want, where we're all subject to their whims and their bureaucracy. We're just all vassals of their state. That is ultimately what they want. And so as it relates to the First Amendment, they don't give a shit about the First Amendment. Why would they be trying to deplatform everyone like Gavin McInnes, Alex Jones, anyone that is an independent voice, anyone that's not them? Why is it that they write articles clamoring for the censorship of those that are not them? But, and still have the gall to say that they're in favor of the First Amendment. No, they're not. They're in favor of rights for them and none for anyone else. They act as a class, and because we're not them, we're enemies. It's not because I woke up one day and decided that I hate the establishment legacy press. It's because they attacked people that I like. And seemingly, if I got big enough, they would come for me too. They would try to censor me, they would attack me at the least. If I got big enough as a channel, which is unlikely to happen. But if it happened, do you have any question that they would attack me for what I'm saying? For any of the opinions that I have, none of which are around theirs? I am in no way an internationalist. My views are antithetical to theirs. That is why they would attack me. It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm loud or I swear or anything else, or I'm a racist or whatever other bullshit they would cook up to smear me. It would be simply because of my politics. The fact that I am a challenge to their gatekeeping, their ability to manipulate the public, irrespective of what nation we're talking about. Because like I said, 300 outlets from all over the fucking world colluded to do this. And it is because they're attempting to gatekeep the public. They are attempting to pressure politicians successfully this time around. That's what the goal of this was. Fall in line, we're the press. We're the professional gatekeepers and we influence the public. Fall in line. And they did it. The Senate backed down. This is them bending a knee to the establishment media for no other reason than the establishment media trying to gain control ahead of the midterms. Because they want the midterms to be a protest vote against Trump. That is what the media wants. The media sees Trump as their enemy, and they want this to be an election to decide the next election, the midterms to decide the next presidential election in 2020. They want the midterms to be a slaughter for the Republicans. That way they can say that this is all to do with Trump, and that way in 2020 they can continue to campaign against him and hopefully get, what they want is a Jeb Bush or a Ben Shapiro, and just your typical standard, Clintonite neoliberal Democrat on the other end. Because that's within their Overton window of what's acceptable politics. It's just two internationalist politicians. I wanted to talk about this because this is a big story. Okay, this is a big story. I'm going to reiterate and summarize this for you. The press colluded and collaborated with one another right after they just colluded to get Alex Jones and others thrown off of social media and basically depersoned. Banned off of every platform that they can manage to do so. And by the way, it's like doubled. It's like 24 different private companies that have banned Alex Jones's outlet at this point. 24 different companies. They all were pressured by the press successfully to get rid of Alex Jones, including companies that are utterly ridiculous to pressure, but they still managed to do it. And you better believe that Alex Jones is just stage one. That's just the first guy. He's just the first to go. And they're in no way stopping with him because the blood is in the water now. They have tasted it. They have had success in censoring people that they hate because they are not them. And so they're going to continue to push forward. He was just the test case, and they're continuing forward. So right after that happens, you have 300 outlets that collude, collaborate between one another when they're supposed to be fucking competing. They collude and put out op-eds on the same day to denounce the Trump administration and declare that they are acting as a class against the Trump administration because the Trump administration has declared that the press are his enemy because for 3 years, in lockstep, they have been attacking him. There's not been one outlet outside of maybe Fox News to some degree in terms of the mainstream press that have not been attacking Trump on any given day, all day, just in every article. I mean, there are entire news outlets that are part of the Fifth Estate, the online media, in which like every fucking article they write mentions Trump. Every single article, every single day for fucking 3 years. And I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not being hyperbolic. There are entire, like, stupid fringe left-wing websites, like Salon and others, where every day they attack Trump. Every fucking day. And it's practically every article. And it is because of his politics. And so fast forward 3 fucking years of this shit, where Trump is just saying, fuck the press, in essence. That's his perspective. He says that to his fans. Fuck the press. They attack me, so fuck them. That's his rhetoric, and it's just rhetoric. The press collude to denounce Trump and the Senate in its entirety. The entire elected Senate, every single representative in the Senate, votes to stand by the fucking press and denounce Trump. Even those that claim to be part of the same party as Trump. I remember that whole chestnut of, well, if you're a Republican, you don't attack another Republican. Ronald Reagan said that. Blah, 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 blah. Why am I not a conservative? Well, just take a look in the fucking mirror, conservatives. There's your fucking answer. You guys have no balls. You guys got no balls. The entire Senate, of which the majority is apparently supposed to be Republican, all denounced Trump over bullshit. They just stood by the press declaring their right to gatekeep to the public. That's the role that they play and that they're going to collude together to declare it to all of us. As they take steps to actively censor us, those of us that don't abide by their gatekeeping, as they actively try to censor us, you know, you have elected politicians that do know better, that are just going to fall in line and abide because they're fucking cowards. But I'll just leave it there. This is disgusting to me. And you guys can feel free to let me know how you think in the comment section. Maybe I'm going too far. Maybe I'm overreacting. But, you know, I have flashbacks to fucking Gamergate when I see all this shit. And I mean that in the worst way. I know that Gamergate was, you know, whatever, a tornado or a hurricane in a teacup, however it's said. But, you know, this is the national media, and now you have the fucking Senate just falling in fucking line. As it was then during Gamergate. Like, the industry, the establishment just fell in fucking line. They couldn't fold fucking fast enough to genuflect to the press, who are wholly corrupt and are fucking liars and gatekeepers. It's just amazing to watch this. And I don't see anyone really talking about this, so I thought I would. And granted, this is going to come out in a couple days because I'm too busy. I have to go to bed in like fucking 2 hours and get up and keep working. So, I'm still a slave to the company store, or however it's said in terms of the song or even the saying. But I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening.